are rolling. What's up, Riley?
How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So I'm here with my buddy Riley Sager,
Hello, everyone.
the famous rap artist from Waterville, Ohio.
Yeah.
So how you been, man?
Good. Busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
I gotta take a listen to your latest album, Blue Skies.
Blue skies. Yeah.
Very cool.
I made hard copies this time, like all the times. But this time it's also Chris helped me get it on, so it's on Spotify, Apple Music, all like streaming and all that stuff.
Nice.
I had somebody buy it on iTunes from China the other day, so that's so that happened.
Sweet.
Yeah. But
So your buddy Chris, was he the one that helped you produce it? Or?
yeah, so he made probably, I would say, a good 40% of the instrumentals tracks for that, and then I did the other 60%. And then yeah, I just recorded it and put it out there. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about like the process of how you did this album. It seemed to have, from what I listened to, seemed to have almost like a jazzy kind of feel to it, and then a little bit of island vibe almost.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just seemed like, from what I've heard from you before, and actually
definitely different.
from what we did before,
Yeah.
it's definitely different.
I just, with this one, with my previous one that we did together, I really crafted a lot of the actual like lyrics first and kind of just pieced it together. Because with the one that we did, those were all instrumentals. Those weren't my instrumentals. Those were all instrumentals that I got from offline. But with this one, it was really the opposite. It just really almost came like organically, and some of the instrumentals we made first, and some of the lyrics they came to me. Like I had songs that would take days, weeks to finish, and then I also had other songs that I wrote, made the track for, and were recorded in an hour, and that's that. So
Yeah.
it varies, you know.
No, that's cool. So that's interesting that you said before you kind of started with the lyrics and then the beats were made already. But I was listening to a Kendrick Lamar album the other day, and well, it wasn't the other day. It was probably like a month or so ago. But I wasn't super familiar with his stuff, but I was interested in it, and so I was like, I'm just gonna give this. So I just put on some headphones and started listening from like front to back.
Yeah.
And
That's how you have to listen to his albums front to back. That's the best way to.
Yeah. And it was interesting. I liked it. And I'm not hating on Kendrick Lamar or anything, but I don't know if I got like a weird sense of how he made it, just from the fact that I make a lot of music and maybe know a little bit of the behind the scenes. But to me, it almost sounded like he did a spoken word type of thing into the mic, and then they created music around what he spoke. Or it was almost like he read off lyrics or rapped or did whatever he was doing for each song, and then they created the music around it.
Yeah.
Which is something that I've never done before. I always have music first, or sometimes I do it simultaneous. I'll play guitar and sing with it, and I'll just come up with a melody that way. But it's interesting that you said that that's the way you did the last album, was you kind of had everything written first lyrically.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't.
Maybe that's just a difference between, because I guess you're in more of the hip hop realm,
Right.
than the rock realm.
And with that last one, it wasn't so much the same with how it was for the Kendrick album that you listened to, where it feels almost like they crafted it around the words that he was saying. With the last one,
and I actually don't know if that's the way they did it. That was just the,
right,
that was
that's
just
what
the
it sounds
impression
like.
that I got. I was like,
no, I totally get that for sure.
yeah, but I
Um,
liked it. I thought
yeah.
it was cool, and it was definitely creatively interesting. Like
Yeah,
he did
Kendrick's-
something different there.
Kendrick's
but-
great. I've been a Kendrick fan since his mixtapes, Overly Dedicated and Section 80. But his new stuff that he's winning Grammys for, you can see that he's evolved, and I'm not comparing myself to Kendrick Lamar, but his old stuff was almost more straight what you would think of hip hop, whereas his newer stuff has the jazz influences. It has like on To Pimp a Butterfly, not his most recent, but his previous album before that, he had like a George Clinton guest verse on there. And you know George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. So that's like 70s infused into his hip hop. That's current modern day stuff that, I mean, high school and college kids are listening to. Is just crazy.
Yeah.
Because other than that, they would never know who George Clinton is, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, hip hop is really, I don't know, they've definitely, they're pushing some boundaries in some different directions for sure now. But it's interesting how it's been evolving. I guess music in general and everything. Maybe that's indicative of the recording technology growth too.
Yeah.
You know, you get a lot more options these days as far as how to do things and
like
exposure.
I mean, I'm just making music now, and I've been making it for the past 5-6 years seriously. But now you don't have to. You can get your break a lot easier now. It seems like just by posting a song on the internet, it blows up. Next thing you know, you have 100 million views on YouTube or whatever, and you sign a deal. You know.
Yeah.
That never used to be the case because there wasn't YouTube 20, 30 years ago. You had to actually go out.
It's almost
and make
like
a name for
everyone's
yourself.
at a more equal playing field. It
Right,
seems
yeah.
like. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So of your albums, so Blue Skies just dropped. When did you release it?
Blue Skies was February 5th of this year.
Okay.
So it's still a baby.
And then the one before that, was that the one that I did with you?
Yeah. Last one was the one that we did together, Rite of Passage. That was May of 15. So that's been a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that we did it together. I just helped you record it.
Right, yeah.
I was the engineer.
Right.
And yeah, that was a cool album too.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then before that, you had 2 more, you said?
Yeah.
So this is your 4th album?
This is the way that I say it, this is my second real album. Before Blue Skies and before Rite of Passage that you helped out with, we had like a little EP that was an online only kind of thing. It was just like 4 songs. And then before that, my very first project of compilation of music together was titled A Perfect Mess, which is kind of funny because it was a mess. And that was...
Did you think you were going to have hindsight on that and you would know that it was like... is it something that you look back on and you really think it was awesome, or do you...
Well, I think it's awesome
do you cringe a little bit sometimes?
I think it's awesome that I took the leap and actually created it. But like other people have told me this, and I physically, like, I'm my biggest I'm like my harshest critic, and I can see like the improvement from Perfect Mess in January of 2014 to Blue Skies in February of 2018. It's leaps and bounds. Like, it's 2 completely different things. Not only creatively wise. Is that's a thing? We're making it a thing.
I think it's creatively.
But like creative wise, just it's so much. It's increased so much, and yes, I have better equipment now. And that makes a difference too. But
I was gonna say,
overall,
if you started out doing them yourself, so you've probably grown a lot in that way too. It's just as far as like, I'm sure the first one you didn't. I think I remember talking to you about it. You didn't really have an idea on. Didn't you record it on like a laptop or something? You didn't even really use a microphone.
Well, like the first couple songs that I sent to Chris, and then he's like, "Oh, you should actually do something with this." Was literally recorded on like the built-in microphone in my laptop.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went out and I bought. I'm not knocking Blue microphones at all because they have some great equipment out there. But I bought like a Blue Yeti $130 microphone, and I mean, you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah,
you're getting $130.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. But I know what you're saying. Like the speaker in the laptop, that's like worse than an iPhone recording.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wasn't good at all. But it was just
So there's been a lot of growth in that way
yeah,
too.
growth for sure.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
So what are you using to like do the music and stuff? Are you just programming it on like a software, or is it?
So the program I use to attempt mixing and mastering it is called Sony Acid, and I've been using that since the beginning. I feel like I have a better ear now for it, and I mean I'm not saying that Blue Skies was perfect because it definitely wasn't. I listen back to it now and I'm like, oh, I can change this, I can change that, but Sony Acid for what it is, it's good. I think it was like $80, an $80 program, and it's got some loops in there that I can use, and the main reason I use it is because it's recording software, and that's what I need it for. Other than that, I make if I'm making a beat, I will either use GarageBand or I have an actual machine like MIDI keyboard, kind of like a little drum kit, and I will use that. Or there's a couple songs on this newest one, Blue Skies, that are actually like all organically made with piano or guitar and so on and so forth.
Oh, cool.
So it's just definitely this one is more like a hodgepodge of trying different things.
I noticed that listening to it. It seemed like you went through a lot of different experimentation with like the instruments and stuff. That's kind of why I was curious as to what you were using. But that makes sense if you were using some real instruments mixed in with some MIDI type stuff.
Yeah. And the big thing for me this time, like I had the most. I mean, I'm kind of like sad that I'm done with the album now because it was so much fun recording it and actually putting everything together. Yeah, they were like some long nights in my little home studio at my dad's house, but they were fun nights, and I miss them. They were fun. So
You can start another one.
yeah, for sure.
When do you think you're gonna? Got plans?
I mean, I'm working on stuff right now. Like I came up with an idea for a song today. But I feel like my direction that I'm moving in, and Chris isn't going to be happy to hear this, but I feel like I'm moving further and further away from what you would commonly think as hip-hop music. And I mean, Megan, my girlfriend, she can attest to this, that it's the stuff that I'm working on now and that I'm like messing around with is almost more kind of like an indie, I don't want to say indie rock, but it's almost like more like an indie singer-songwriter kind of vibe. I don't know. It's different.
You trying to copy off of me?
I promise I'm not trying to copy off of you. But it's... Okay, this is the best way to describe it. I'm still using, like, electronic drums and some, like, synths and stuff like that, but I want to get more guitar, like, actual guitar involved, of me playing guitar, more piano involved, and... I mean, I love hip-hop, so I still want to do some rhyming, but I want to do more singing because I like to sing. It's fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I noticed that with this album, too. You seemed like you were singing more, doing more melody type stuff. That's cool. So I know I've seen you do a few live shows. Mm-hmm. You got one coming up.
Yeah, Sunday, April 22nd. We're going to be at the Ottawa Tavern in Toledo on Adams Street. And we are opening for Mac Lethal. I don't know if you've heard of him. I think he's pretty big, like online. And then also a hip-hop artist by the name of Wax. And I actually remember seeing Wax at Lollapalooza, the big music festival in Chicago, like 5-6 years ago, on one of the bigger stages too. So it's just crazy to think that now, like, I'm going to be in the same room as him on the same stage.
Yeah, that's
stage,
cool.
So that's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So you got that coming up on April 22nd.
Yep.
So have you been playing, doing many shows?
No.
What's your live show? What do you envision it as? Do you do like do you have the beats playing through the PA generally, the music and stuff, and then is it just a microphone like an MC?
Yeah. So the way that it has been in the past is we have when I've done shows at other venues, we'll get to hook up our own laptop and like Chris can be on stage or whatever because he's technically the DJ. Yeah, I guess you could call it. But lately, for my shows, I've been doing a lot of shows at Frankie's, and then this is going to be my first one at the Ottawa Tavern, both downtown. It's all through the PA, and I just have a microphone on stage, and I don't like.
So Chris is the DJ.
Yeah, he goes by the name DJ Press Play.
Okay, that was my next question.
What's his DJ
what's his
name?
DJ name? DJ Press Play.
Yeah.
DJ Press Play, and then you just go as Riley.
Riley Sager, and then we've also got Phil Holtz.
So what's
filet mignon?
What gets top billing on the ticket? Does it say Riley Sager?
Oh, definitely Riley Sager, of course.
Doesn't say.
Well, like our whole little, I guess you could say group. I just did finger quotes. That Chris made up is called CW3 Entertainment, and he's been doing stuff like he used to like mix things together and like kind of like morph songs into one, like doing little. He calls them CW3 mixes. And he was doing that before I started doing anything. So he was the original, and then I came along, and now we've got Phil, and then our friend Sam is doing some stuff too now, and we're actually, hopefully, we just did a song together, and hopefully we're going to do it at the Ottawa Tavern show. So that would be cool to actually do something at the same time on stage. So
cool. So what did you say you called it? CW Entertainment?
Yeah, it's called CW3 Entertainment.
CW3 Entertainment.
So, yeah.
And that's like your clan. That's your conglomeration.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Are you guys is Chris like, is he going to set up a label for you guys to run out of? Is that the label?
Yeah, technically I guess that would be the label.
Yeah. So you're signed, dude.
Yeah.
What kind of contract did he get you on?
I'm still waiting to see my first iTunes check, Chris. So whenever that comes out.
Yeah.
I know we've sold some singles and we've sold some albums, so I'm waiting to see that. I know
in
that
Asia, you guys are international.
We're in Asia, yeah. And for my website, it tracks like where I don't sell anything off my website, but it tracks where they stream the tracks. And there's somebody that streamed my album in the Philippines, which I thought that was cool. It's just so random.
That's cool.
Like, how do they find it? Do they stumble upon it or what? But,
you're probably going to get a tracking of me streaming it this afternoon on my way to Bowling Green.
All right.
I was checking it out. That's cool. You have some. I like that you have like some short little songs too. Like you have a lot of 1 and 2 minute little tracks.
Similar to like how you were saying yesterday at the songwriter showcase that you were at, how you like to make the little short songs because you get more applause. My reason's different. I like to do the short songs just because they're fun, and I like to put the ideas, and sometimes it's just a shorter idea, Yeah. But also another thing that I always have in the back of my mind, because I'm like a person, it's harder and harder to find them nowadays, but I'm a person that likes having hard copy of like CDs. So like when a new album comes out from my favorite artist, I like to go to Best Buy or Target and buy an actual CD. And I would always look at the back and be like, oh, there's only 10 songs on here. What's this? So I like to have, that might be me. I like to have, I want to have as many songs fit on there as possible, even if they're only 2 minutes long or whatever.
Yeah.
Just 'cause, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's 20, like on Blue Skies, there's 20 quote unquote songs, and there's a couple of just instrumentals in there, and there's a couple like little interludes that are a minute and a half long, but I feel like it's I don't know, it works. So.
I think hip hop as a genre, they're pretty well known for their interludes and stuff in between songs. It seems like too.
Yeah.
But I guess music in general, the inspiration for me with the shorter songs was more of I was listening to Abbey Road a lot by the Beatles. I just loved how they have those little ditties in between, and how some of the songs they just combined into like 3 songs.
Yeah.
And so I guess that was like kind of my inspiration when I was making my album. And then I was also kind of thinking, if you have a full album that's got a lot of tracks on it, and you can just listen to it, but they're moving track to track really quick, then it kind of makes the whole album go by a little bit quicker. And I almost thought it would be good for like the, I guess, quicker attention spans that people may be.
Right. Yeah. Because you have
developing.
to. Especially in this day and age, people are always looking for the next thing. So if they hear the first 30 seconds of your song or whatever you're putting out, and it doesn't catch their attention, they're gonna go to the next one. You know, you have to be able to
Yeah.
hold their attention.
But if your song is only 30 seconds long,
Then they're gonna
then
listen
you're like,
to the
ha
next
ha,
song.
sucker, you listen to the whole thing.
Exactly. So,
That's cool. That's interesting that you're doing albums, though. Seems like that's a dying thing.
yeah.
But you being a young person, I would imagine
know,
you're
I
just
don't know. I feel
putting
like-
out like singles and
Yeah, I
just
don't
putting
know.
them out
I think
on
I'm
iTunes.
in some ways I feel like I'm an old soul because
Yeah.
I also have a record player and I love collecting vinyl. Whether it's new vinyl or sometimes I'll go to the record store and I'll go through the dollar stacks and look for old stuff that I might never have heard of before. But
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, take a chance on this, and it normally turns out good. So
Yeah.
But-
I think there's still a lot of music lovers that like albums. And
Yeah.
I just think it's different the way people consume them now. And I think, I don't know, for me, if I'm going to listen to an album, I'll generally pull it up on YouTube and just stream the whole thing on YouTube. But hopefully I'll have it Bluetoothed into like at least like a decent stereo or my
Yeah.
car or something. But sometimes I just listen through my iPhone. And I don't know. I think that's what a lot of people do, or they headphones.
Yeah, and
a lot of headphones.
the big thing now is like streaming with you got the Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all that stuff, and I mean, it's accessible and anybody can get it. I mean,
Yeah.
what's a Spotify membership cost? Maybe $10 a month or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want the premium, I think you can have it for free though.
Right? Yeah. So you can get literally free streaming of music,
Yeah.
and it's if you want to if you go buy a hard copy of anything, obviously you're buying it. So it's different, but it also gives you something to hold on to, and that's what I like. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how the industry's changed. It's kind of, I don't know if you imagine, it's kind of going that way with TV now, it seems like,
Yeah.
with Netflix and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
There's the membership, and I don't know if the art suffers or not. It's hard to say because it's harder.
I don't know. I love Netflix.
I know the industry suffers. I mean, I know record companies have been scrambling around since the '90s to try to figure out how to make money, and
Yeah.
they've got a little piece of the pie, but the pie's not what it was.
Mhm.
And I wonder what's going to happen with like the music or the
Well-
movie business. It seems like right now the movie business, it's either a big superhero
Right.
action flick that's like a multi-million-dollar production, or it's got to be like a tiny independent flick. There's no in between middle ground area. It seems.
But
like.
a lot of the times, at least it seems like they'll do the opposite of what they're thinking. Like these big box office, they're supposed to be smashes and they end up horribly tanking. Or you'll have these little indie films that cost $1 million to make and they end up making $300 million at the box office.
Yeah.
They don't know how.
Well,
what's gonna
I
happen.
think the art is suffering a little bit because it seems like when you're putting 300 million, or I don't know, when you're putting 100 million into a film,
Right.
you've got so many cooks in that kitchen that have interest in making money and making
Mm-hmm.
the best movie ever. That I think I think you're better off sometimes if you just have like a Quentin Tarantino type guy who's like a real artist and he's gonna we're gonna do this my way.
Right.
I think those are the people that are making the great movies. And I don't know. I think music went through that, and they still go through that with kind of like the whole pop genre of music that's kind of like just putting it out there, and it's kind of fluffy and
Yeah.
not a lot of
All
substance to
sounds
it.
the same, just with
Yeah.
different words.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the McDonald's of music. Like it is everywhere, and everybody does enjoy it, and everybody does eat it all the time. But there's nothing really of substance in
Right,
it. It's
yeah.
just lousy cheeseburgers. But it tastes good sometimes. I guess I don't know. Is that a fair analogy? You think?
Yeah. No, you feel horrible. You feel guilty after listening to it. You feel guilty after eating it. You feel guilty after listening to the Selena Gomez's and the Ed Sheerans of the world. Nothing against either of those two. They're both great
Yeah.
human beings, I'm sure.
And you can hear it at every corner.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So what's next on the horizon?
Next on the
I
horizon,
think I already asked you that, but you have your show coming up,
yeah,
and then you have
got the show.
thinking about doing some more recordings, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'm also like one of the things that I'm really into is just like I guess music or visually anything. I just really like to create things. And So I'm trying to like create a little like a I guess it'd be a company. I'd never thought of it like that. But yeah, it's gonna be like t-shirts and sweatshirts, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Cool.
And it's gonna be. I mean, you'll if you
So-
go to the show on the 22nd, you'll see the first little taste of that. We made these beautiful tie-dyed shirts, and they're super. It's hard to explain. Like they're like elegant but simple at the same time, and I guess that's kind of what like the vibe that I'm gonna be going for with all this stuff. Now the things I make in the future are not gonna be all tie dye. That's just because the album's Blue Sky. The
So,
shirts are tie dyed blue.
Is this like the official announcement of the Riley Sager clothing line?
Yeah, it's I guess it is. It's gonna be called. This is a very cool shirt company, is what it's called. This is a very
that-
cool shirt company.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
don't steal that though, because I still have to get it trademarked. But I looked online; it's expensive to get it trademarked.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm working on. It's legit. I mean, you're gonna see it at the show. But like the shirts are gonna come with like care instructions for it. It's gonna be like high quality stuff, and it's not just. These shirts aren't going to be shirts like, you know, you've gotten shirts that I'm sure you've gone to a concert before. You buy a band shirt and you buy a medium or whatever, and you go home, you wash it, and it shrinks to an extra small. These are going to be like high quality, like cloth, and you're going to buy a medium, you're going to go home, wash it, you're going to have a medium. That's how
Yeah.
it's going to be.
So I guess is this going to be is this going to be along a parallel line with the music, and it's going to be like part of your brand, or are you looking at this as more of a like a clothing business?
I feel like it's going to start off. It's starting off kind of parallel with it, with my music that I do. But I feel like pretty soon here, and it'll always have like.
Have you ever watched Shark Tank?
Yeah,
I'm
I've
sorry-
seen Shark
sorry
Tank. I
to
love Shark
interrupt
Tank.
You know, Damon, he'll tell you that the clothing business is a tough business, man.
Oh, yeah, I
You're
know.
going to be competing
There's-
against Abercrombie and Fitch.
There's this show that I used to watch. It was on HBO and it got canceled after 2 seasons, called How to Make It in America. And their business that they were trying to do, they were trying to make jeans, like designer jeans, and they like were going to all these like different shops, and they were finding like different garments and trying to get all their pieces together, and it was just like hard. Also, they were doing it in New York City. I mean, but that's the place to do it. You know, if you're trying to start a clothing business, you need to be somewhere where you have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so definitely it'll stay parallel with the music, but it's also going to branch off and be its own entity, and eventually it'll be. My goal is to have it just be like that's the main thing. I mean, I'm always going to make music. I love making music and I love creating, but I don't know. I want it to be something that's like recognizable. Like, oh, that's a very cool shirt. And I'm like, oh, that's actually what the brand is called. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're going out. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess with with that brand, then yeah, definitely a departure from
Yeah.
the Riley Sager type stuff.
And I mean, there's like all these artists that make, and when I say artists, I mean like musical artists that have their own like clothing brands and stuff. And
Yeah.
you'll see them selling their t-shirts for $40 and their hooded sweatshirts for $80 or whatever. And my goal is to be like kind of like the anti like I guess establishment brand, and not have those crazy prices where I can still sell the shirts and they're very cool, good material. They're going to last. They're not going to shrink. You're going to want to wear them all the time. But at the same time, they're not going to make you go broke, and they're not going to empty your wallet, you know? They're going to be reasonably priced, and they're going to be great, and that's the plan. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting, man. You got me thinking about this idea now. I'm gonna jump into the clothing business.
There you go. You can start a
I
hat
don't-
company.
I don't have an idea. Nah. Yeah. So did you have a good time last night at the?
Yeah, that was fun. It was very intimate, and I love little intimate shows like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very intimate. Like, you were there.
It was
So
super
you,
intimate.
You know what I'm talking
Like I said,
about.
I was debating if I should bring some sunglasses just to give myself a little bit of separation.
Yeah.
I think that would have helped.
But I've been to shows. I've been to all different sizes shows. I've been to music festivals in the crowd. I've been to stadium shows where you're with 15,000 other people in the crowd, and then I've been to shows and places and little clubs where you're with 300 other people, and then I've been to places like last night where you're with 20 other people. And I feel like some of the times those little 20-person shows, it's almost like you're just playing for your family and friends. I mean, granted, you didn't know any of those people last night, but by the end of the night, you knew them all, or you at least knew their names.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That was interesting. I've never played in a music store like that either. So yeah, it was. For those of you that don't know, it was part of a up close concert series in Toledo last night.
It was awesome.
At the Music Go Round music store, and it's basically they just set up some folding chairs right in the front lobby area of the music store, kind of like playing in a Guitar Center. But it was interesting. I've never played. It was weird to be playing at 6:30 at night too. That seemed just like a little bit early.
Yeah,
just because I'm used to playing in bars and everything else. So, yeah, it was fun though. It was
playing music and the sun is still out.
Yeah,
It's definitely different. That's good though.
yeah. So you mentioned your girlfriend. What's some of the things you do for fun?
Anything outside.
Like I'm not saying what some of the things you and your girlfriend do for fun. I'm just saying like in general.
Oh yeah, like even for both of us, but we both love to be outside and hiking, any kind of outdoor activity. I like to go to music festivals. She likes to come along, I think.
You ever check out the metro parks around Toledo?
Yes,
What's your favorite? You
She
got a
lives right
favorite?
by Oak Opening, so
Okay.
we're kind of
That's a big one.
we're kind of biased for Oak Openings, but we've also been to Sidecut and Maumee. That's great.
Yeah. You know what my favorite is? Wildwood.
Wildwood.
Yeah, you ever been up there? It's on Central.
Central, yeah, we did the Glass City Marathon a few years ago, and part of it actually runs through Wildwood.
Oh, cool.
So we didn't do the full marathon. Well, I mean, we did the full marathon, but we were on a relay, so each of us ran like 5.5 miles.
Yeah.
So we weren't dead afterwards.
Oh, that's
but-
cool. I just did a 5K last weekend for the first time.
How did that go?
I won my age group.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm not going to tell you my time.
Did you get like a medal?
I did.
Cool. Very
Got a
cool.
first place ribbon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was at Levis Commons. They had and you know the craziest thing is like I run in the summertime, but pretty sporadically.
Yeah.
It's kind of just whenever I feel like it and it's a nice day. But for me, it's more of like being outside, like you were saying, hiking and stuff. Like I like to go to like a metro park and go for a run. Like I don't really run on treadmills, and that's kind of why I don't really run in the wintertime either.
It's so different.
Yeah.
Like we have a membership to the gym, and we run on treadmills 5 days a week, and then when it's nice out, obviously we go outside when it's nice, and we'll run on the trail, and
That's like real running.
It's so different. It's like two different worlds.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Do you find it's easier or harder? Does it have? Because I don't ever run on a treadmill. I actually
feel-
don't even know how to compare them. But I've heard.
I personally like running outside better, just because when you're on a treadmill, it's monotonous, and it's also just, I mean, you're running on like a machine, and it's hard. If you're running outside, yeah, you might be running on concrete, but you might also be running on gravel or there's grass. You know, you don't know where you're gonna go. It's wherever you want to go. You know, you have many more options, and you have the whole world to look at while you're running, not just a little TV screen or the wall in front of you. So
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it is. I definitely. I don't know. It was interesting for me because I was kind of giving my body almost like a scientific experiment for this, because I hadn't run all winter, and so I'd gone about 5 months without running going into this 5K, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna go out this week and try to run a mile here or a mile there. I'm just gonna go into it completely cold.
Right. If
And this is the first 5K I've ever attempted in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to try it. The other thing was it was at 8 in the morning. And I've got this crazy schedule where I stay up all night making music and stuff. And I'm playing at clubs late and stuff. So 8 in the morning for me is like a ridiculous time. So I was like, well, I'm just going to stay up all night and go
Before
at
the
8,
race.
8 in the morning. And it's just going to be like a little bit past my bedtime by about 3 hours or whatever. And so that's what I did. And I ate a bison steak at like 2 in the morning, give myself some awesome energy. And then, and it was a cold day. And I don't know if you're familiar with, are you familiar with Wim Hof at all?
No.
Okay. He's this Norwegian guy, and he holds, I think, 27 or 28 world records. He does things like he climbs Mount Everest in shorts.
Oh wow.
He runs a marathon in desert and without water
Yeah.
and without
Really
any training.
crazy stuff.
He swims under like ice. He's got the record for longest distance under ice. And there was a time that he went to swim under the ice, and the water was so cold that his retinas froze instantly when he went under the ice, and then he couldn't find the hole in the ice to get back out, so he almost drowned.
That's crazy.
But he's an interesting guy. He's in his, like, I don't know how old he is. He's like probably in his 60s now. But since he's been in his 20s, he's been using this breathing method. And so I did the Wim Hof breathing method before my 5K to try to get myself energized and ready to go. So,
Did it work?
I mean, I got first place.
Yeah. So something must have gone right.
But
Now the real question is, how many others were running in your age group?
wow. There was like 11 or 12.
Oh, okay. That's
So
what's up.
it was decent. I got 16th overall out of 113 or something.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
Why were you asking? Don't ask my time. That's good overall. Out of
Yeah.
16 out of 100, that's like
I think
top
it could have
15
been.
percentile.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it considering all the circumstances.
Yeah.
But it was. I think it might have been one of those things too where it was a inaugural event,
Okay.
and I think a lot of the people may have been part of that, and it was also their first 5K. Like I don't feel like.
All right. You weren't running against a bunch of other people that do.
Yeah,
the
I wasn't
5K
running
circuits
in
or
some
anything.
like huge, like it wasn't like the New York Marathon where there was just like runners everywhere ready to go.
We've done 5Ks before where we'll be almost finishing and we'll be lapped by someone that already finished their 5K and is doing it again.
Yeah.
And those are the people that they do a 5K every week or they do a couple every month and they're really into it, which is good for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like.
Well,
to
the other
run,
thing I
but-
realized when I ran the 5K is I'm a short distance runner,
Yeah.
and I like to run like a mile or two, but I like to run it fast. And like I said, I like to do it outdoors in like a park or something. But I just try to run shorter distances faster and faster rather than like I don't want to get to a point where I'm running 10 miles because it just takes up so much time.
Right.
And they say like, anything in moderation is good. I think sometimes, and I'm not saying that, running is definitely good for you, but I think sometimes with the extreme runners that are doing
Oh,
like the
yeah.
ultra marathons and stuff, they may be doing a little bit of damage.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like a fact that running marathons and long distances like that is not healthy for you because
If you do it too much,
right?
yeah.
Because you can damage like the
A lot of
the
people hurt
soles of
their
your feet and
yeah,
your
their
knees.
hips and it's a lot
It's
of joints
it's
and
hard.
bone.
It's hard on your legs.
As Donald Trump says, exercise is bad for you because it wears down your joints.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I try to keep it pretty quick and just run short distances. So I realized when I was running the 5K, I was like, I actually don't think I've ever run this far.
That far?
Yeah, I was getting to the last mile and I was like, oh my God, how much farther do we have to go? Jeez. But I made it through. And
We did that Glass City Marathon. The year after we did like the relay version of it, we did the half marathon just by ourselves. So we each ran 13.1 miles.
Wow.
And like before that we were like kind of like training for it. Like we weren't like probably training the correct way for it. But I'm pretty sure I've sprained my ankle the week before the race. So I ran 13 miles on a messed up ankle, and afterwards I felt so horrible, but at the same time I felt like I'm happy that I just did this. Will I ever do it again? Probably not.
Yeah.
Most definitely not, but it's cool to say that it's like it's an accomplishment, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel that the same way with 5Ks. Like, yeah, you just ran 3 miles. What's the big deal? But people don't do that every day, and it's a lot of the time these races are for a good cause, and you get a cool T-shirt, which is like the best
Yeah.
part about it. So.
And if you're really cool, you get a cool medal.
Yeah, you get the medal for finishing first in your class.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I can imagine a half marathon or a marathon getting really crazy difficult. But I don't know. There's something to be said for, I think, pushing yourself past your limits. And that's why I think a lot of impoverished people or cultures seem to rise up in sports like boxing and fighting and stuff. Like, back
Yeah.
it used to be like Mexicans and white, like Polish immigrants back in the 50s that were really good at boxing. And I think it was just had to do with a little bit of like the hardships that they've gone through in their life. And then, it went on to African American cultures being really successful. And now it seems like with boxing and MMA, it's kind of Russians have taken over.
Yeah.
And that's because I think a lot of like the hardships that they've been going through in their country, in the poverty and things. It seems like it just makes harder, more resilient humans when you have to go through difficult things. And I think that kind of relates back to, running and exercise. And you always do have that rush of endorphins after you exercise.
Oh, yeah.
That always makes you
That-
feel
the
good.
runner's high or whatever.
Yeah, or any sort of exercise or
Yeah.
weightlifting. It's almost like we have it so cushy in the United States that it's kind of we have to go outside our comfort zone and do hard activities as far as like exercise and stuff to get that same rush that maybe our ancestors would have gotten just like running up the side of a mountain to get a deer.
Right, like on a normal daily routine.
Yeah, to go hunting or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's something I think that definitely, because there's a lot of depression and unhappy people in the United States, and I think like, if you get more of an exercise program in your life, I think it can definitely improve things.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as mental health, but it's hard sometimes when you're working in an office all day, sitting at a
You
desk.
just want to go home and
and
do nothing, watch your
and
Netflix.
relax. But I don't know. I think just as a man, sometimes I think there's just some energy you need to get out and exercise
And it really does, in my like personal experience, in my opinion, it really does make you feel better, not only physically but mentally too. Like there's a noticeable difference on a day for me where if it's like nasty outside and I'm not gonna go outside, I'm just gonna stay in. And you just feel down compared to on a day where you can go out and you can go for a run or just go out and do anything, go for a walk even. You just feel you feel happy. I don't know how to
Yeah.
describe it. You just feel like I don't know.
well, I think it also relates to kind of like the reward systems in life too. So let's say, I don't know if I'm eating ice cream every day, like ice cream is good,
Right.
and I'll enjoy it every day. I love ice cream. But at the same time, if I have a restriction on my diet where I don't eat sugar or something, and I have a cheat day where I can have a bowl of ice cream, then that ice cream
it's
is like the
gonna
most
taste a lot
amazing
better,
ice cream
yeah.
I've ever had. So it's almost like, and I feel like that. With, say, I don't watch that much TV anymore. I used to watch a lot of TV and movies and stuff and entertainment, and now I don't do it as much. I spend a lot more time kind of working on music and stuff. But I do find that maybe once a week when I sit down to watch a movie, and I'm like, I get excited about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's my movie time, and like I go through Netflix and I look for a good movie, and or back to the exercise thing. If I wake up and I just turn on the TV and sit there watching it, I'm like, after a couple hours, you kind of feel like a piece of crap.
Right, yeah.
But if you get up and then you go for a run and then you go do you know, you work up a sweat, do a little bit of work in your life, or, you know, you go mow the lawn. Then when you sit down to watch TV,
It's like it's a
it's
treat.
a little bit
then,
more
almost.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you feel like you've accomplished something.
And you deserve it. It's your prize at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, I go through that. I go through that with music too. Since I've been in this house and I don't have neighbors, I usually will try to play my guitar, and I'll try to play through all my songs as almost like a discipline. And I just try to go through the whole set. And when I first started doing it, I wasn't that familiar with my own songs because I hadn't been playing them all that much.
Right.
And since I recorded them all in the studio and released them, I hadn't really focused on the live representation of them.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, it was a real challenge to get through every song. And it took, you know, when I first started doing it, it would take me an hour and a half, 2 hours a night of just, and I wanted to do it standing up, so I was like practicing as I would be if I was on stage or
Yeah.
something. So I just kind of walk around the house and play through those songs. And, you know, for when I first got here, I made a disciplined effort to commit to myself to do that every night. So for the first couple of months, I was for an hour or two every night just walking around here, just playing every one of my songs through and through. And I noticed a definite improvement. So now I can get through all my songs in like an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't do it every night anymore, but I still try to play guitar every day and every night for at least an hour. And I do notice that, like, if I slack off and I get home from work or whatever, and I just decide I'm just gonna sit here and eat and watch TV a little bit, I do feel a little bit like I should
should
pick
grab
up
my
that
guitar.
guitar. Like, I love playing guitar, but sometimes you just don't want to do it sometimes.
Right.
And so it is. But you feel better about yourself, I think, when you can get that out of your system, or
Yeah.
feel like you've accomplished something for the day.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to interrupt real quick. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Ooh. You know,
Or are you just
I
like
really love
vanilla?
when it comes to like sweets and stuff. I'm a big chocolate fan,
Chocolate,
so
okay.
usually if with ice cream, I'll have some sort of chocolate in it. But lately, it's such a rare thing. Like, the other thing with me, like, I quit eating sugar a few years ago, and I stopped like drinking soda and everything.
Mhm.
So now, if I have a big dose of sugar and I have like a cheat day, or like if I have a big bowl of ice cream, it's almost like I just got finished with like Thanksgiving dinner. Like, it knocks me out. Like,
Yeah, you just crash.
yeah, like the insulin spike. My body's so not used to sugar now
Right.
that if I have to be careful about eating like a big bowl of ice cream or something before I got to do something, because I'll want to go take a nap
Yeah.
afterwards. But my go-to if I'm gonna have a cheat day now is Ben and Jerry's fish food.
Huh. It has like, what does it have
It's
in there?
fish food spelled like the band Fish.
Okay.
Phish.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it has to do with fish.
They made up their. They made.
But
a
it's just got these little chocolate candies and marshmallow swirls, and it's chocolate ice cream.
Sounds
but
good.
It's Ben and Jerry's, so
Yeah.
you know,
They've
can't
they've
go
got
wrong.
Some crazy flavors.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I like the. I mean, I don't care where it comes from, but like normally we get this. It's like a raspberry ice cream with like little dark chocolate chunks in it, and it's so good. I don't know if it's.
Does
a
it
good
have raspberry chunks in it too?
No, it's just like
Raspberry ice
I
cream
think
with
it's
dark
raspberry
chocolate
ice.
chunks.
I think it's raspberry
Sounds
ice
good.
cream, or maybe it's black. No, it's raspberry ice cream because it's like a purple, like a purplish, like a light purple color with chocolate chunks in it. It's definitely raspberry chocolate chip or dark chocolate. It's good.
Sounds good.
I try not to eat it too much,
Yeah.
but it's hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I see you occasionally going into the old YMCA there
yeah,
in Waterville. Is that place cool? I haven't been in there.
I really like it. We used to go to the one in Perrysburg, and I mean it's the Perrysburg one's much bigger, and they have more like rooms for like different classes and stuff.
Is there a sauna?
Perrysburg has one. The Waterville one has one too.
They have a pool?
They don't have a pool though.
No.
Perrysburg has a pool. But the Waterville one has like all your normal like machines, treadmills, that kind of thing. Then they've got like free weights, and they have one big classroom where they do like I'm sure they do like spinning and all that kind of like yoga and all that kind of stuff. But then they have the reason that I like it so much is one, it's close, and two, they also have like in the back, the very back of it, they have a half indoor, half basketball court,
Oh,
which is one of my favorite things about the Perrysburg one is because I loved playing basketball. I mean, I'm not good at it, but I have fun doing it, and it's closer. It takes 10 minutes to drive there, whereas Perrysburg is a 20-minute drive. So
yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't gone in there, but I was wondering if they had a pool. But
it's a lot bigger, like than you'd think. Like it's like,
Really?
I mean it's. Were you there when it was a Rite Aid still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so different from when you'd walk into Rite Aid. It's just
Yeah,
it's weird, but it's good. It's good. I like it.
that's cool. I was pretty big into basketball. I played in high school and stuff. Did you know that?
No, on like your high school team.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Why'd you stop?
I was playing. I was trying to go for playing in college, but I went to Owens.
Okay.
They had a really good basketball team at the time, and I played in like their summer league for a little while. And then I ended up transferring to Bowling Green, and I just ended up playing intramurals and stuff. I didn't actually try out for the team.
I think Owens won like their whatever their division is.
They were like in the middle of state champ or national championships when I was there, like every year after year.
Like
yeah,
I think a couple years ago they they won the whole thing. I remember hearing about it, but
they had a pretty big run. I mean, as far as like 2-year colleges go or junior colleges, but they were like nationally ranked when I was there, and they've always been really good. And they everyone was like recruited and stuff that played there. But it was cool. I mean, I was pretty good. But it's one of those things, man. It's a tough sport to keep playing for long. It's kind of
it also
like now I've
hard on your body.
turned my ankles so many times and twisted my knees up, and so. But I still like to play every now and then.
That's how I am. I mean, I still play soccer now, and I mean, one is just it's great exercise, but two, it's also fun. But I'm such a light person, and I'm always falling. Like I every game I'm on the ground at least 3-4 times a game. So like now, I mean I wear my shin guards and stuff, but now like I have knee guards too that I wear just because I know that I'm gonna be falling. I might as well protect my knees as much as possible. So.
You should
I've got
get a
bad
helmet.
knees.
You get a
I
helmet.
need a helmet and I need a mouth guard. Maybe some like little elbow pads too, just to be all decked out.
Hey,
But,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
Yeah. What else are you into? You play video games?
Not as much as I used to.
No, I don't either.
I really like going back to like this is gonna sound I'm about to go like full nerd on you. But I'm really into I go to like cons, like Comic Cons.
Oh yeah.
And because I'm really big into The Walking Dead, the TV show. So I go to these cons and like we get to meet the cast members.
Have
and
you
stuff.
been to the one in San Diego, Comic-Con?
No.
The big one?
I want to, but no.
I think it's getting too big now.
It's
Nobody wants to
like
go.
supposedly like I've read about it and heard about it and like people like it sells out instantly like the tickets for it like you'll be waiting in a queue online to get tickets and you'll never even get through the queue just because it sells out so quick.
Yeah.
So unless you live out there and you can go right up to the door and wait in line, there's no point in even trying. So
yeah, I've never been to a con, but I've heard
You-
they have
there's some-
I've heard they have a distinct smell sometimes.
Yeah,
of,
they have-
like costume odor.
yes, there's a lot of people that will go and will get dressed up. I mean, my main reason for going is just like I said to meet like these different actors and actresses that are in The Walking Dead and stuff.
Ever meet William Shatner?
No, I haven't.
I think he charges the most to meet him
Probably.
at Comic-Con.
I know.
All the Trek
Where was
fans.
it? Where was it at? I just saw one. Are you a Star Wars fan at all?
Not really. I was a huge fan when I was like 7.
So you know who Mark Hamill is, who plays Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
I saw that he was at like a con in New York this past year or this past December when the newest Star Wars movie came out. And I think to meet him or to get a picture with him, it was like something like $250.
Wow.
Like, that's just crazy. Because
Yeah.
these people are already spending like $40, $50 just to get into the event in general.
Yeah.
And then everything once you're in there is extra. Obviously, that's how everything is these days. But
Yeah. No, it's quite the good deal they have going on. Which I mean, I can't blame someone like Mark Hamill. I mean, he's probably not doing much acting these days. I
Right,
haven't seen
yeah.
him in anything really since Star Wars, but I know he does stuff. I think he was in theater for a while. I'm sure he does stuff, but I don't know. It's a way for him to make extra money, I guess.
Oh yeah, for
you know?
sure. So
Yeah.
I mean, these people that even the people that have like the smaller roles in these shows, they'll go and they're charging $40 for an autograph and $60 for a picture, and I mean, people are paying to do it. So
Yeah.
it's a good way
There's
to
if there's
even
a
if you're
market
not,
for it.
yeah. If you're not currently relevant, you still are relevant from when you were on that. Hey, I had those 5 minutes of fame on that one show. Come see me, and people
Yeah.
lying out the door.
So
to
when
see
you're
them.
there, can you see those guys? Do you ever pay to get the autograph or
Yeah, I've got like a poster, a full
Oh, yeah.
poster of signed of Walking Dead
what's
people. So
so The Walking Dead? What's your favorite ones that you've gotten?
like people that I've met.
People that you've met, yeah.
Probably the coolest person I've met. Well, the top two would be Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I don't know if that name sounds familiar at all. He's been in a lot of like movies.
Is he
and
in The
stuff.
Walking Dead?
He's in The Walking Dead.
Which one is he?
He plays Negan. He's like the main.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The main villain, quote unquote.
Right.
I met him last year in Chicago, and he was just so cool. He was like, I don't know, like you think of like,
Doesn't he isn't he from a different country?
no, he's from the U.S., but
Oh,
literally everybody else on that show has like a British accent. It seems like in real
Yeah.
life. But he was like when, because there's like a big group of people waiting to meet him, and like we stood in line for probably a couple hours to meet him or whatever, and like when he walked up, he just like flipped everybody off. He's just like, not in like a vicious way, just like a hey,
Yeah.
like
Part of like the
F
character
you, I'm
almost.
here kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But when we got up there, he was like giving everybody hugs, and he knows that these people are here to see him, and he was talking to people for like 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'm sure the people in line behind us were like pissed off about it, but it was awesome for us, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, also he's making some big money.
Oh yeah.
How much was it? Do you remember?
To meet him, I think it was $100 to meet him,
Yeah.
but it was worth every penny. He was so cool. So
Yeah, he's like, I'll talk to you for 5 minutes.
yeah,
Banking money right
easiest
now.
$100 I've ever made.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, after like I leave a con for the day, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I just spent that money on that. But then at the same time, I'm like, hey, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
my money. Like I'm gonna spend it how I want to spend it. You know. So,
Yeah. And you said you're into festivals. I know you always talk about you go to Lollapalooza every
Yeah.
year.
This is actually, I didn't go last year, and that was the first year I had not gone. The previous 4 years, 5 years, I went 5 years in a row from 2012. So 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 I went. And then 17 last year I did not go. Then this year, have you heard of the band Vampire Weekend?
Yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love Vampire Weekend. I was gonna buy like a 1-day pass this year to see them, but they sold out too quick. So because this is their first U.S. show since 2014 is gonna be in Chicago at Lollapalooza this year. So they've been on like a little hiatus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're actually one of the bands that I somewhat compare myself in the same realm with. Like not really like they do a lot of weird instrumentation that I don't
yeah.
that I don't use. Like don't they have do they do a stand-up bass too?
and their first album had their first album, which was like self-titled Vampire Weekend, from 2008, had a lot of like African like vibes to it. I don't know if that's like the
Like
proper
rhythms
way
and stuff?
Yeah, like it was like if you like strip back the guitar from it and just played like the drums and like the other percussion that they had, whether it was like cymbals or whatever they were doing, it just, I don't know, it just felt like you could dance to it. I don't know. Like you just felt like you're like dancing. I don't know. But Vampire Weekend's awesome.
Yeah. No, I like them. They have some really. I like it when anyone does anything that's like interesting that I haven't heard, and they're one of those bands that's just kind of, it's weird, but it's catchy.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff.
It's not.
I'm a big like alternative rock, indie rock.
Yeah. When
kinda-
you think of indie rock, 10 years ago, you wouldn't think of Vampire Weekend, but now you think of indie rock, boom. In my opinion, Vampire Weekend is indie to me.
Yeah.
They are the genre of indie, and
Yeah.
people look to them and like, okay, Vampire Weekend did this. Let's try to do something similar to that because they were successful at it, and they still are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm always trying to compare myself to bands that are well known, just to like give people an idea of what I sound like if they ask me. And I always struggle with that. But the other day I was playing at a songwriters swap, and one of the other songwriters, when I got done playing, he was like, "Man, I really like your stuff, man. It sounded really cool." And he gave me the comparison of Cake,
okay.
and I was like, oh, I could see that a little bit. But that was the first time anyone had really thrown that out there. But are you familiar with Cake at all?
No.
No?
I mean, it's a delicious dessert.
They sing this song that goes, on the phone, long, long distance, always through such strong resistance. At first you say, you're too busy, I wonder if... I'm going to sing the whole song if you don't... You don't know that song?
You're going to have to sing the whole song because I'm
Oh,
not
man.
familiar.
How about, I need your arms around me, I need to feel your touch.
That sounds a little more familiar.
Oh, that's the same song, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that's the verse. They have the
Is it like a 2000
engines
band or
pumping,
like
and no, it's in like a.
an
I
older
mean, they're
band?
still around,
Yeah.
but they're like a.
When they were like
They came out
first
in like the late
90s.
'90s,
Okay.
early 2000s. I'm sure you know a lot of their songs. They're on the
Probably.
radio.
They're probably one of those bands where if I
a
hear
girl
the
with a
actual
short
song-
skirt and a long jacket.
I've heard that song.
That's Cake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're one of the bands that the song would be playing and I'd be like bumping my head around to it, but I have no
you
idea.
probably
who it
know
is.
them, yeah. How about She's Going the Distance?
Yeah.
That's Cake.
That's Cake. Okay.
She's going for speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad I could.
Jog my memory.
Yeah. I was
definitely
gonna
know
sing that
that.
entire song, but someone's probably listening and be like, "You're killing that. That's not what they sound like." I did my best.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, this has been fun. You think we should wrap it up?
Yeah. This has been a
Riley
blast.
Sager, where can we find your music?
You can go to www.rileysager.com.
Can you spell Sager for people?
Yep. SAGER.
And that's Riley, Riley.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And then also
I have a huge audience now. Just kidding.
And like I was saying earlier at the beginning, this is the first time that you can also find it on Spotify or Apple Music, iTunes, any of that stuff. If you want to actually, like, go to iTunes if you want to buy it, that'd be awesome. But
Yeah.
if not, go to my website. You can stream it for free as much as often as you want. So
Cool. Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have not.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever
The,
talked.
the
this long in
interesting
general.
the interesting thing about podcasting for me is, like I said, there's no audience for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I could put this online, and who knows? Maybe it's evergreen, is what they say. So it'll always be there. So, if you blow up in 10 years, or if you blow up next year, then
People find this and then this.
then this will blow up.
Right.
So hopefully you didn't say anything that
welcome.
you're going to regret.
I don't think so. Well, maybe the thing about I think I might have dissed Selena Gomez and Ed Sheeran somewhere in there, but I'll get over that. They'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah.
Hey-
They
haters-
probably will never hear this.
Hate is
so.
gonna hate.
Hate is gonna hate.
So, all right, Riley Sager, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.